Have you just started investing, or are you planning to start soon? According to a 2023 study, 56% of Americans 18 to 25 owned at least one investment, with 55% owning crypto and 41% owning individual stocks. Investing's great. In fact, I'd say in our modern society it's essential, and I think it should be a goal to start investing at some point, but investing can be risky. It needs some thought, knowledge and planning. You don't want to get into it before you're ready and lose money. So today I'm going to tell you the 5 situations where you shouldn't invest, and also the dumbest mistake you can make when it comes to investing. Let's get started. Situation number 1 is when you don't have a budget. In my opinion, budgeting is the most foundational thing you need to learn and do and stick with when it comes to money, because what gets measured gets improved. So if you aren't measuring the money coming in and the money going out, then you really don't know how well you're tracking. About 50% of young people don't have a budget. They just have money come in, they spend it, and at the end of the month they check to see if anything's left. Don't be one of them. You're better than that. The reason this is important is because if you don't have a budget, then you don't know how much you'll regularly have available to invest. So you shouldn't be investing, at least not yet. A budget tells your money where to go, rather than you wondering where it all went. Once you've got a better understanding of your money and where it's going, you can start allocating a set amount to investing. And you can do it with the knowledge and confidence that you've budgeted for your essential expenses first, and so you don't get into financial trouble later. Situation number 2 is when you don't have an emergency fund. The main reason that most budgets fail is because people don't have an emergency fund. 57% of Americans can't find $1,000 in an emergency. So you do the right thing, you create a budget, but at some point something's going to go wrong. Your car's going to break down, you'll have to go to hospital, and you'll need some money really quickly. If you have an emergency fund, then you're all good. You use that money and then next pay you go back to topping it up. But if you don't have one, then you're leaning on that credit card, taking a personal loan or dipping into savings. And if you started investing, then you might put yourself in this position where you need to sell down your investments to cover the emergency. And that will probably be a disaster. Investments tend to do better in the long term, so being forced to sell them earlier than planned when you don't want to, that increases the risk of losing money. And even if it does result in a gain, then you might have to pay tax on the gains, which wasn't in your plan either. So build your emergency fund up before you start investing. So when the unexpected happens, you're ready and you don't have to raid your investments to cover it. Situation number 3 is when you have debts with a high interest rate. This is a big one for young people. You see so many people out there that want to invest and they're doing research and they're just starting to take action. They're watching videos and downloading Robinhood to get ready to pick the next big stock. Now overall it's great that they're interested in investing and thinking long term and trying to build themselves that brighter future. Some of them invest in reasonably standard stuff like index funds that are great long-term investments, and they're hoping to maybe make 8 to 10% a year on average, which is great. But as it's a long-term investment, to build your wealth this way, you really want to start early. But if you invest, say, $2,000 and hope to make 8%, but at the same time you've got a $2,000 credit card debt and you're paying 28% interest, then that, ladies and gentlemen, is the dumbest mistake you can make. You need to clear all of your debt with high interest rates first. Now think of that as anything with an interest rate over 8%, because in the long term you're probably trying to average 8 to 10% return. So this means paying off credit card debt and personal loans in particular because of the high rates. Your student debt or a mortgage might be lower than 8% and you'll be paying those off for quite a while, so you don't have to worry about those as much. And if you're thinking that you're going to try and make 50% from your investing, then it means you're getting into pretty speculative stuff like crypto, and you might make 50%, but you might lose it all. So I don't see that as investing, I see that as gambling. Once you've started investing, if you want to put a little bit of your investment, maybe 5% into crypto or something like that, then it's fine, but don't start out with that. It's boring, but you need to get the foundations right first. So make sure you get rid of any debt with over 8% interest before you start investing. Situation number 4 is when you don't have any savings. I'm a big believer in people building up their savings before they invest. Here's the reason. To do investing well, it isn't something you do once off. It's an ongoing process. You ideally want to be investing the same amount each month as part of a plan, as part of a well thought out strategy. So first you need to demonstrate you can regularly and consistently invest. That's how you're going to get the best results. And the best way to practice that is to save. And over your life, you're going to want to buy some things that you need to save for, especially big things like a house. So saving is an important skill to really build up. We all know we should spend less than we earn, but building that habit is crucially important. I actually think a big part of success is self-discipline. It's doing what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. So at the end of the month when you have money left over, it's saving that money instead of spending it. The ultimate is to do it as soon as you get paid. Don't save what is left after you finish spending. Spend what is left after you finish saving. One way or another, you're building a muscle. Are you going to build the muscle that spends money or the muscle that saves money? The last one, situation number 5, is when you invest without a plan and without knowledge. Don't just invest because everyone else is. Don't invest just for the sake of it. I can quickly and easily teach you how to invest. Subscribe to this channel so you can easily find all our videos on investing. But you need to do a little bit of learning before you invest. Not too much, I promise. First you learn, then you earn. And once you've learnt the basics, then you set a plan and you just follow your plan. Too many people act randomly when it comes to investing. They get a hot tip from a friend, family, or a celebrity. So they invest a random amount of money that happened to be free that week. That's not investing, that's gambling. Good investors think long term. Good investors know what they're investing in and why. Good investors have a plan. I think of it like the difference between an amateur and a pro. The amateur is ad hoc. They're random. They don't put in that little bit of extra effort that's required. A pro has a plan. A pro makes conscious decisions. And a pro gets results. Your money is important. You've worked really hard to get it, so you don't want to lose it. But you also want it to grow. So act like a pro when it comes to your money and really get ahead. Don't start investing until you've done a little bit of research and understand some basic concepts like compound growth, index funds, and how to use dollar cost averaging. All really simple concepts that you can apply easily. Get some knowledge, create a plan, and then start investing. So to recap all of that, don't start investing if you don't have a budget and you're not managing your money well. You need to know how much is coming in and going out before you can put aside money for investing. You don't have an emergency fund. Unexpected expenses will happen. They call them unexpected for a reason. So you don't want to invest and then be forced to sell at a bad time because you urgently need money. Number 3, you have debts with a high interest rate, over 8%. There's no point investing and hoping to make an 8% return if you're paying over 20% interest on your credit card. Don't start investing if you don't have any savings. You need to build a savings habit to make sure you can comfortably and repeatedly save money. Once you've got on top of the first 3 points and proven you can save, say, $2,000, then you can think about investing. And last on the list, don't invest in a hurry with no information or just because a friend, family member, or celebrity told you to. Do some research, understand how it all works, and then invest. The point of all this is you need to walk before you run. You need to build a solid foundation first. Because, like a tall building, if you don't get those foundations right, then the whole thing's going to come crashing down. Once you've built some good financial habits and proven you can stick with them, then you should start investing. Investing before you're ready is going to end in tears. You'll either be forced to sell when you don't want to, or you'll get into bad investments. This is going to put you off investing for years, and that's going to massively affect your financial future because you do need to invest. You want to build up your wealth so you have that FU money. So if you don't like where you work, it makes it much easier to walk. So investing is super important, but build the foundations first. Have an amazing day.